We're going to start 6.4. I didn't see any questions. I saw maybe one question. Huh?
The homework's not open.
I thought I opened it.
Well, you didn't, because I went and looked last night.
It's done after this.
There wasn't a video on YouTube either. But,
I know. Remember them saying that they couldn't hear me? Those green lights. See those green lights? They weren't on. They was not on. And when they're not on, you don't record. And I tried to record, and guess what? There wasn't anything to record. So I'm going to have to. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I'm going to have to go. Shoot. I need to go over what I went over. Hold on a second. Now I'm confused what I need to go over today. Let's see. Main menu.
that's my drink up.
Course tools, assignment manager. Change dates. Y'all are on 5.1, 5.2, 6. Okay. 6.3. Okay, I see what you're talking about now. So today, we'll go ahead and make it October 14th. October 14th. Is that satisfactory to you?
But we don't have class Monday, do we?
No.
I
But
was
that'll
just
give y'all
asking.
plenty of time. That'll give y'all plenty of time over the weekend to get the homework done. And that way I can go over questions Wednesday when y'all come back. Okay, that's done. Now let's go back to I really need to go over, and I don't think it'll hurt y'all's feelings if I go over the 4.3 just to recap, because I didn't record it and some of y'all need it, so I'm going to record it again and we'll go from there. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Oh my gosh.
I can't what?
Did you say 4.3?
What chapter are we on?
Oh.
Okay, then it's going to be 6.3.
I was just wondering, I was like, he's got 2 today.
I have not. There. 6.3. And I'm just going to go over it real quick so everybody will have it on, have it on your.
Well, Blackboard's not even working, so.
Blackboard never works. That's why I tell you to go through the website. I tell y'all not to go through Blackboard.
Pisses me.
Y'all don't listen to me. Try now. Okay, no, that's me. Okay, here we go. So, we're going through this again, algebra applications, and it's all about the what? The words, okay? Make sure you read these 2 charts, or make sure you go over these 2 charts, and make sure you know, the only thing you need to remember is that these charts will be based on the 4 operations. And what are the 4 operations? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and what? Division. Okay? So the only thing I told you to remember is if you ever see more than or what? Less than. If you see more than or less than, do the crisscross. So that would be x plus 6. And if you see less than, crisscross, and that would be x minus what? 4. Now that's the only things that I told you that you have to watch out for. More than, less than. Well, what about a number increased? Well, you just read it from left to right. What's the number? X. What's the increased? Plus 3. Decreased. What's the number decreased? Minus 9. Now, with multiplication, you have several key words. What are those words? Multiplication. Times. You're right. Times. What's another word?
For multiplication?
Yeah. Starts with a P. Good. Product. And then they will say twice a number, triple a number, something like that. Twice or triple. Why don't they say quadruple? Because it's easier to say 4 times a number. But twice is usually saying multiplication. Triple. And then after triple, they say 4 times a number, 5 times a number, 6 times a number. With me? Okay? So these are your key words for multiplication. What about addition? Give me some key words for addition. Sum and total. Okay? What about subtraction? What were some of the words for subtraction?
Difference.
Difference is the main, and then decreased, and this would be increase. Okay, so we've got key words. So watch for these key words. Division is pretty simple most of the time, and don't forget, per can be a multiplication. Per can also be division, depending on how it's written. Per / quotient. Okay, so again, we went over this, but I'm just kind of going over it again just to make sure that it's on the YouTube page. I'm trying to go over it, kind of quick. Let me see if she rebooted her computer. And I do this with all my classes, so okay, I'm gonna see right quick if she's one more time until Woodward. So she may have forgotten. No, it says she's still offline. Okay, next slide. 3 decreased by a number. So that would be 3 what? Minus x. The difference between a number, x, what does difference mean? Minus 5. 4 less than 3 times a number. Remember? Less than. Crisscross. So you would take your handy dandy pen and you would draw a cross going that way and then a cross going this way. And what's 3 times a number? 3x. And what is minus and then 4? So anytime you see less than or more than, greater than, any of those, usually you don't see greater than, you see more than. Greater than is when you get to inequalities, which is 6.5. We'll get to that eventually. Okay? 2 more, let me erase this. 2 more than twice a number. Again, you see the crisscross. So plus is in the middle. What goes to the left? What's twice a number? And what's 10? It's just 10. And that's it. And we got 3 more. The sum of 5 times a number and 3. Sum means what? So that's going to be 5x plus what?
X.
No.
Oh.
5x plus 3. Read it again. The sum of 5 times a number plus 3. 8 times a number decreased by 7. What would that be? 8x minus 7. Good. 6 more. Up. We got another more than. So that means what? Crisscross. So that's going to be 6 more than, wait a minute, 6 more than a number. Okay, 6 more than a number. Oh, is. I forgot. That. And then what is always? Equals. Write that down if you wasn't here or whatever the case may be. Let me hit the highlight, or I'm going to do it in green because it's very important. Anytime you see the word is, that means equal sign. So now we got 6 more than a number. So that would be n plus 6 is equal to 10. And that should be your sentence. Now, what did we say about variables? Is that your priority? No. Your priority is to get whatever variable you pick by itself. That's your priority.
Already one message coming in on secure channel.
Okay. Okay, she's saying that it's... Okay, she's trying. Reviewing over... What is it, 6.3? Keep trying. I think evidently her laptop has, what is it, viruses on it? Because usually when your laptop takes forever to what?
Load.
To load, that means it's got viruses on it. Okay. Miss Woodward's going to all the porn sites. She needs to get off the porn sites. All right. So here we go. Hit enter. And 5 less than a number. So here we go. There's that less than again. So that goes that way. That goes that way. And then equals. And then 20. So that's going to be x minus 5 is equal to 20. Twice a number decreased by 6. Now this doesn't say less than, or so we read left to what? So twice a number. What's decreased? 6 equals 12. Writing with the mouse is not easy. A number decreased by 13. So how would that be? X minus 13 is what?
Equals 6x.
6x. All right, so again, did y'all check the homework?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's
Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, so that's that. And remember, whenever you see an is, that means equals. Sometimes total can mean equal. Depends on how the word total is used. If I say a total of 200, that means equals what? 200. We went over this. I'm not going over because that's not the way I do things. Okay, we went over this, and this is 2,300. Okay, that's something that you're given. And a. What does and mean? I forgot to add that. So you need to add that as one of your what? Keywords for what? Addition. Good. So you need to highlight this, and you need to put that under your keyword for addition. So that's going to be 2,300 and we're going to add, and what does this say? 0.02, what did I say per meant? Per can mean division and multiplication, but in this case, it means multiplication because you've got 2 cents per copy. So that means I've got to pay 2 cents per copy, so that'd be 0.02 times X, because that's what we're trying to find out. If Jana spends, now see, this is a good example. This is how you tell the difference between total plus or total equals. It says, if Jana spends a total of means you need to highlight total of, and you need to put what? Equals. Total of means equals. So equals 2626. And solve it. Now, of course, I'm not going to solve it because the slide's going to solve it. And we did all this the other day. So there's the formula I just wrote down. And that's how you solve it. I cleared the fraction. I multiplied everything by what? 100. That's what I did. But you don't have to do that. You can do it like this. That is a test question. We did this one. Mark 4, construction purchased a 100-tract piece of land. All right? So that means that all 3 pieces of land is going to what? Equal what? Equal 100. How many pieces of land is it?
3.
So you know you're going to have 1 plus 2 plus what? 3. And we know that one of them is going to be called X because you got to have a basic. That's one thing. In all these word problems, you have to have a basic. And the basic is always going to be X because X is what you don't know. Now it says 1 partial will be 3 times as large as the first 2. So that means X and X. And then what is this one?
26. 30.
3 times what? 3 times each of the other 2. What's the other 2?
Yes.
3x, good. And that's 5x is equal to 100. So x is equal to what? 20?
Yeah.
And when x is equal to 20, what do? You got a 20-acre tract here, a 20-acre tract here, and what? 60-acre tract here. You got to plug that 20 back in. Okay, so make sure, here we go. There's the first partial, second partial, third partial, and that's equal to 100. And then 5x is equal to 100 divided by 5. And you plug back in 20, 20, and 60. 3 times 20 is 60. Building a rectangular box. I can't write all this on them, so I'm going to have to get up. But how do you pronounce that? Is
Javier.
it Javier? Lord have mercy. I can't pronounce my name, much less everybody else's. All right, so you got, he has 34 feet of wood. 34 means what? What's the matter with her?
30.
She's what? And then we know that 2L plus 2W, that's perimeter, is equal to 34. Now the only thing we need to know is what is the length and the width. Well, it says right here, the length, L, is equal to what? So 3 goes over here, and width goes right there. So length is equal to W plus what? So 2 length equals W plus 3, and I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter, and I'm going to highlight this line right here because that line gives us that line. And now I'm going to plug that line into the formula. 2 times parentheses plus 2w is equal to 34. And I'm going to take my green marker and I'm going to write w plus 3 right there, and now you solve it. So what I'm doing is I'm just going over the highlights of finding out how to, pull these word problems together, okay? Sorry about that. Let me see if she's... What? I already told her that she may have to, I think she's going to give up. She'll have to go on to recording. I think that's another reason I'm doing it, because yesterday's didn't record.
Didn't you say because you can't get in sometimes and do the attendance, that's why we got the email saying we weren't there? Will you fix it?
I thought I fixed it. I went back and
Well, I don't know.
Monday I did.
I just know I had an email.
Don't ignore it, delete it. Those are the most annoying things that we've ever had at Tri-County Tech. Okay, there we go. See the W plus 3, there it is. And then you work it out, 2W plus 6, 4W plus 6, and W is equal to 8 or 7. And you got to plug it back in. What's 7 plus 3? 10. Kim is selling her homemade jewelry. This was the Walmart equation. I think this is the one we left with, didn't we? So that's going to be X plus, why am I doing plus and not minus? Because tax is what? Added. Percentage X. Oops. Percentage X is equal to the total. Now I'm just going to go ahead and hit it because that's what they do. There. X plus percentage X is equal to the total. And we know that's a 1, so don't sit there and stare at it for 15 minutes. That's a 1 in front of that X. Then 1.08 divide, and you get 32. And that's that section. Now again, I just did that for the benefit of my students.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even get me started. What section are we in? 6.4.
So we're going.
All right, so here's variation. Variation is built on nothing but formulas. Okay? Variation is built on nothing but formulas and solving for formulas. So, I'm not going to go through what you'll learn. I just told you what you're going to learn. A variation equation. You don't have to write all that. A variation equation is made up of several variables and a constant. A variation equation is made up of several variables, and what do we say variables were? Letters. And a constant. What's a constant? Well, some of the constants you may have seen before. Pi. What does pi stand for? 3.14, right? That's a constant. E is equal to 2.1 something. It's a variable or a letter that has a number assigned to it. Does everybody agree with that? So a constant is a variable with a number assigned to it. Each one of these problems is going to have a variable, and it's going to be called K. K is going to be what you solve for. K is going to be K. It's never going to change. You're going to be given it different values. One problem it may be k is equal to 2. The next problem may be k is equal to 5. Okay? But you have to find it. That's going to be what you're going to be doing. You're talking about probably 2 or 3 questions on the test. So you're talking very small amount of number, but you need to be able to do it. Okay, it's on. Bless her heart. I know how it can be. But A for effort, right? Listen, this ain't the first time in my college algebra class I had a student finally get their computer working, and it was like 10 minutes left in the class. So I went ahead and pulled him in, huh?
We had 10 minutes left.
Okay, well, there she is. Okay, so 6.4 is variation. We just started 6.4, Miss Woodward, so you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
So make sure you write this down. You don't have to write this down. A variation. A variation equation is basically an equation that has several variables in it. I don't think I spelled variables right. I think it's spelled L-E-S. Okay.
It's just a
Constant is made up of a constant and variables. It's made up of several variables. Variables, there it is. That's why it didn't look right. And a constant. And what is a constant? A constant is a letter or a variable with a number assigned to it. And we're going to be dealing with, this whole section, we're going to be dealing with the variable k, lowercase k. Okay? And we're going to get to this in just a second. There. Here is your first, there's 3 or 4 equations in this section. This is the first one. Y is equal to k times x. Here is your constant. And I'm going to keep doing this for a while because you've got to realize that that is the most important letter in this section, K. It doesn't change. The value of it changes, but it will not change. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I'll go ahead and give you the other 2. This is inverse. Y is equal to K over X. And this is joint. Y is equal to, some have it KXZ, some have KXW. But there's the 3 equations we're going to be starting with. This is called direct. This is called inverse. And this is called joint. Now, there's 3 types of problems you're going to have with these problems. One, the first type of problem is going to be plug and chug. Before you do anything, let's call that 2. The first thing you do with these problems is you assign variables. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm giving you X and Y, but the question may say something different, and you have to change Y and X to another variable. Do you ever change K? No, never change K. The first type problem is going to be plug and chug. The second type problem is going to be plug and chug and find K. That's your second type problem. The third type problem is plug and chug, find K, and then they're going to give you more information. Okay, so there's your 3 types of problems that you're going to be dealing with all through 6.4. Now go ahead and I'm going to let that sit on the board for a second so you can watch it on the video, or you can take a picture of it, or you can write it down, whatever. But anyway, I'm going to erase this now. And go to the next. K is the constant of proportionality. It is always, I don't know how it did that, but anyway, here is a problem. Look at what it says. It says the length that a spring will stretch. Which way do we read? So S is your first what? Variable. This is your first variable. Varies directly. Directly means that we're going to use Y is equal to what? K times X. This, highlight this, put a circle around it, because the question will what? The question will tell you which formula to what? To use. With the force. So if S is your first variable, what's our second variable? That's our second. So I'm going to highlight one of them blue. We'll highlight that one blue, and we'll highlight the other one magenta. That's not magenta, that's purple, but it says magenta on here. It's a conspiracy. Y is equal to K times X. What told me that? The directly. And now, which way do we read? So S is going to go in the Y spot. And F is going to go where? In the X spot. That's the first thing you do. You've got to change your variables. So S is equal to K times F. Which variable did not change? K never changes. K always stays K. Now it says, write the equation for the length that a spring will stretch, S, if the constant of proportionality is 0.07. Constant of the this is called what? K. So I'm going to go in and plug in K. So S is equal to 0.07 times what? F. This was a plug and chug. All you did was plug in 0.07. So, you need to write this down as your first type of question. Oops. Move that over. Okay. Capiche? All right, next one. The area of a picture projected on a movie screen. There's another key word. We need to highlight it. Varies directly as the square of the distance. Got another. Let me highlight this one and highlight this one. Now see, what color is that right there? That's magenta, isn't it?
Purple.
That's not purple. This is purple. All right. So there's the first part of our problem. So I'm going to go back up to I'm going to go to my, and I'm going to say Y is equal to K times what? X. Which way do we read? So what comes first? A is equal to K times what? D. Now I just did all of this. So all of this is gone. Y'all notice that when I do word problems, after I get done with a certain part, what do? I mark it out. Why? Because your brain will not focus on all of it. It'll focus on what? The next part. If a projector is at a distance of 25 feet. Well, let's go back. What is the distance? Distance is what? D. So now I'm going to plug and chug. With an area of 100 square feet. And what's the only thing you can do now after you get those two numbers? Solve for what? K. And once you solve for K, what do you do with K? Plug it back into what? Plug it back into this equation. And you get A is equal to 4 times what? D. Now this, what? Okay, that, we just did this. That right there was the second part. This is where you find K. Now it's very important that you understand this because this is the same thing you're going to do with all three of those formulas. Now, this is more info. More info. What is it?
No, I just realized, I was like, what's that to do with
that? Okay, now, what is the area? What is A when the projector is at a distance of what? 40 feet. So what are we going to do? We're going to say A is equal to 4 times what? 40, and that's going to be 160. Now I realize it's getting close to time. What time is it? What? Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the next screen, and it'll show you the same thing that I just showed you. There it is. They plugged in A is equal to K. Oh, I'm sorry. Did it say squared? I didn't see that. Okay, we need to stop. Because I forgot to do the square. Did it say square? Yep, right there. I missed it. Okay, that square, everybody highlight that square when you get a chance. That square is on the D. I messed up. So that's a good time to quit. There it is. See that square? All right. I know y'all are very interested. All right, I'll stop the recording. Miss Woodward, you'll be able to watch the video because the other video, something was wrong with the sound and I couldn't load it. So, y'all, if you need it, watch over this video. It has what section are we in? 6.1, 6.3, and 6.4 start, okay?